for a higher juicy news. Mima Obibia Aquaba had the latest hot aqua era with a bravo. And we did so we subscribe to channel idea but more say over subscribe. Double yard say over click a year the subscribe button. Now what barely notification. We had a video for Frubia be uploaded. When the first person I once saw a year saw video. Afenyo we are now like video no give us a thumbs up. Now share my work for so now when you be here now and someone so Ghana me mohano. Afenyo share ye as someone ababeto yapono so iti a year sabkubuya ekosi mama iti sanse.
Ena yenya ntia se NCA the cat ababontin say radio stations be 62 right? Come say 62. 64.
Oh yes.
Yeah, 64. Mra was somebody ye adwuma wo da uba adwuma ni mu no. Wo mo ebu mra no so. Ene nti wo mo atwe wo masensa na se wo mo ato wo mafidie ni mu kakra kosi se wo mba be ye nhyehyɛ ya ebata ho ni chebi ene hu say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or the no Jimmy say asem no wo mo enhwe na wo pardon wo no mo grace period bia wo metimi e de aye wo mo ho ensiesie kakra controversies bebre aba wo saa na mo na President Mahama 2 ye no ho fiti enra asema me bisa me ho ene say exact opposition na ye wo mo sesei no wo ma yo madwen say ye wo opposition ti ade bia ye beka ho asem eye papa o eye boni o e wose ya yire ya ho ne ye ka asem no ya criticize mani ye boni as agenda ni nyina ne sa ade bia bekoso wa bani mu bia no ye opposition nko ade ma ye take a certain stand bia e be ma ya dwen ne ye post nyina ba kire Ghana for say ade na ekoso no ya ade boni. And no about Afenyo Markin kasa bebre wa parliament. The last time I make catch on say, sawo to aba Emma obi suman wa parliament follow parliamentary proceedings na ya ekoso because na say ya me sha say mehwe no. To da bia mitimi hwa na mabisa me ho say enti we mu nyina ya intellectuals ya to aba ma omo o. Me gwagina so obi ntu so aba say me kwa parliament. But the watching the want to say yanto abama no kwa parliament no ejini hu di say o ni wiase mu nyansa nyina ni made a otimi differentiate between papa and bone because Ghana mra na ye de to aba ne ye say ansa no be qualify say ye be to abama ne say on kwamra hye bedwam anaso o maye o mampanyin no na wadi 18 years or ye Ghana ni of sound mind. As a sound mind, and there be a catch them say you kwaja na chire o. Sound mind no, ye kwaja na chire because enkofo ni bebre o ho a, wo mo ni ye ni wo mo kasa no. Asa ya na sound mind na kakra. O ka se do kwasi ndum. Emre bi is it 2012 and now 2016? I know Acosta elections in the 37 quiet check was psychiatric say or beso mu hwe na adwemu se bibia ye correct ya. Ko ka incident no.
No, 2014.
2014. Until now it was against 2016 general elections. Sadia na papa kwasi ndum quiet no kofo bebre sere no. Ba woni mi se wa mram. 1992 constitution na ye de ye adwuma no. Ewo sa ansa no obi be gina se anto ne so aba no e wase akohwe nipa na adwene mu se bibia ye correct ya ba obi volunteer ya akohwe na adwene mu ayese bibia ye kama no ye de tira ba bi ne ye sere no oh ada e baba kwasi ndo obodom nti ne wakohwe na adwem because I kanya star eye den na wadwen ya wo se me de me your opposition dia ade bia aba ni be ye bia na ka ho asembone na wanya den ti se ye papa o se ye bone o Chasa would ya was stand what take care say eye bone. Mame kama Ghana for who say abino ya way nyina nye. Smith video na you ready ayambo Afenyo Markin video na sana. Dia meni kofi waka na ye de atoa so anopai. Because etoda bi na wutie panyimfo na omwo kroma na wadwen ho bisa wo ho say na wo mo po kasa say ne ye de be ka dai. Tie no Afenyo Markin after say ya ka NCA de statement by say stations ni bi wo hono mu a wo mo abu mra so eni nti wa ye den watum ti Afenyo Markin
of the constitution.
If you read chapter 12 of the Constitution, in particular Article 162, Mr. Speaker, let me take your leave to read. Freedom and independence of the media are hereby guaranteed. Subject to this Constitution and any other law not inconsistent with this Constitution, there shall be no censorship in Ghana. 3. There shall be no impediments to the establishment of private press or media. And in particular, there shall be no law requiring any person to obtain a license as a prerequisite to the establishment or operation of a newspaper, journal, or other media for mass communication or information. Mr. Speaker. 4. Editors and publishers of newspapers and other institutions of the mass media shall not be subject to control or interference by governments, nor shall they be penalized or harassed for their editorial opinions and views or the content of their publications. 5. All agencies of the mass media shall, at all times, be free to uphold the principles, provisions, and objectives of this Constitution, and shall uphold the responsibility and accountability of government to the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, lastly, on 162, that's 1626, any medium for the dissemination of information to the public which publishes a statement about or against any person shall be obliged to publish a rejoinder or any if any, from the person in respect of whom the publication. So, Mr. Speaker, the Constitution provides a comprehensive guide on the operations of the media space in Ghana. Let me rely on the views expressed by the Honorable Sam George, MP for Ningo Pampram, in the 8th Parliament. Mr. Speaker, he spoke strongly against ministerial action in respect of such defaults. He was against any form of penalty. And Mr. Speaker, in his arguments, he relied heavily on the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, I adopt those views as though they were mine, to the extent that the Constitution makes certain broader provisions. And this is not to suggest that I am against the subsidiary laws enacted for the purposes of regulating these media houses as part of the checks and balances that are required or needed in every democracy. Mr. Speaker, democracy must be guided for the good of democracy itself. So I agree. But Mr. Speaker, in a situation where it becomes obvious that in the exercise of such discretion, there is a clear breach of Article 296, as my respected colleague, the former ambassador,
Honorable Afenyo Markin, minority leader, our parliament, and video no me share na me to me bo say ya moneti ni nyina kwasi. One will say the Honorable Afenyo Markin and when you dear and all quote to mra. NC di adwuma emra e was a board the ubo media houses. Emra e bo ho ban. Say untimi interfere and I want to mean say and just say wakwa to mrano said ya waka no papa sana mrane kan. You see, these people are behaving as if say they just came from a certain island, Ghana, within this short time. And I never be kwasona wamasha says so wasem. They don't behave as if they've been around for the past 8 years. Saadiana wamo yeno, wamo acted to say ya to wamu free suro, as a wamu free island be as a wamo Ghana ha wamo ya ho. Afenyo mo wetina senior maybe ekoso okrom ha hwe asama ye ekoso wo Ghana ha any the why ya politics no say ya hwe ya hu dakoro ye bedi ya dokono kwa. The last time na me catch was say NPP were positioner omoti rule of law ase omo ba ba mu a saade ni nya adwuma enra anobo Afenyo Markin kan mebre a che so peso che se NCA etietia saada obonwuma na wa bumra so wa default na NCA ade mra ne ye adwuma no ono peso sanchire NCA se NCA bumra so hwe asama me interest nim se wutumi radio ye betum ana asase ye betum na mesrawo e want to mini asase nkwa no mka ho ana na happy FM nka ho adan na Afenyo Markin a single out want to me ani asase adantia other radio station other regions no adan one kasa mo an kasa ma wo mo na a single out want to mini asase radio. So let me say happy FM crowd wa mbomudi. Ba happy FM e omudie mu. We know. E omudie. Ada na one kabia ma happy FM no single out would to many asase radio. Enya me interest no see obi radio station I say obi TV station me no enya masem eye NCA for na enya omadwuma no omo ye. But the hypocrisy in this matter eno na ya asem e ha me. Say Ghana yempanyin fa no omoni nokura bonsa ho omoni nokura ay overtaking anything asem no omo akasa nim say na asem ne tia pa na so boa our position into say the asem ne tia bi obeka wo say wo obi a onya honest won ka nokura won hwe ya da obeka nokura mpo no obi beka say wo di ntro enti honorable Afenyo Markin na sa yin nyina da ho near 2 radio godum and near 2 muntie FM mu and near 2 na power ka ho right year 2 power FM mu and near 2 XYZ mu year 2 radio stations and na MPP for adwene ya wo say ya NDC affiliated stations sa constitution na Afenyo Markin kan ja wa parliament enra a wa paso wa kire say ye tietia the radio station ni TV stations ne journalists bi fa ahodie so no sa mra no kind of parliament enra no na edi ho tama ya tutu radio go for 4 years 5 years no na mra di ni ho. You see these people wa mo behave so mo ye nipa che wo bia. So a group of people no wama dwen kire wo so mo ye nipa che wo bi wo Ghana ha hwa mame ha eno na me ka na ye obi ya na ye mubu afu na mu ya but it is what it is obi Ghana ni je obi a woni Mr. President Mahama intervene yempo no Afenyo Markin kroya sa ba be ka say ade President Mahama ya wa intervene say yama da obonwuma ni ya wo adwuma ni yama o grace period na emra na wo mabuso no wo kwaye o nhihye ye no Afenyo Markin kroya say aya political gain President Mahama pe Ghana fo anim yaban say medwune wo amenti ase. So you see asam no wodimrika akwa blame ai we chanting wa ma sheda ada no mo want to be brasa ada no mo person mo do mani si want to me so enti osengo out stations ya NPP stations ana no wakasaba wo mo President Mahama may intervene ya was a village baby. Oh, President Mahama ready mu. A political day or President Ghana for Bob in Samano. It is to see any papa could pay. President Mahama I intervene and Kabeka said John Mahama Shetre and Sam George any NCA Kabum and Omutu radio stations and NPP for stations. Kawu Kroyan Kabeka. Bukanu Dikaya Canada. Adia President Mahama be a MPP for a problem. For a crab for more problem. Dollar suti ye more problem. Chesa adia be a baku so chrome hay. And your money tiako yasun quad more problem. Mejunu wa mentiasio. Afenyo Markin the MPP for no other moya ni pacha will be a chrome ha now say. And Yanamuna Madena one with him. Dine a mojene. And Maraya, why you don't want to parliament? What kind of get your question? Mesra Tenenrana. Samrana Wakayano, Ayanra, and I'm a draft say ya nasa saying, shall ya come remwa and see about more emra a bow muchidom. Yamo to me and Yamo and Yamo Betimedia Juma. The same Marana Wakayan and Rachayeno. The same Marana is Owusu Jinaso, and also what 2 Munti FM. And also what 2 radio gold, what 2 power FM, and what 2 SYZ, who were radio stations or 2 any and unim. Adia course on Rano. Sagana for ya kaya dia. Ye be wo say NPP for mu ye nipa bone fo a wo do man so mo sa obo bokuro no wo mo dwene wo mo nko mo ye die ho woni mi say ya 2 radio gold mu kofi ye nyina ya ntia na obi aka so mo time mo so mo license no mo renew ye mo time na mo koye ho adwuma mo ka se da mo penne e ma mo hwe nyame anim to station for 5 years. Forgetting say na enipa na ye adwuma wo ho a ye tuo mo ka mo nya bibi koma no hwewunim ade no President Mahama ye no ono adwene wo mutimi nya bi na woni tire wo wunim ade odwen ho odwen wo say irrespective of any ma ekoso asase radio no amo wo ye adwuma no omo family wo mo ye adwuma wo ntumi radio no President Mahama adwene hu say enya me as a person and I say eniema wo mo ka wo run to me radio no so didi natam no e no odwene ho odwene ho se wo mo ye Ghana for kane omo wa abusua e ho no mo ye adwuma no mo sa koma no. That is what President Mahama odwene ho kane ansa no wo tu sa na mo no na mo ba ya no adwene na wo mutirim no say wo ye ndc ni dia wo se ya makomodo wo ye ndc ni wo se egu wadwuma wo ye ndc ni wo se tetew. Mama can be make sure this is secret. Obia ni mo Ghana ha bia na obia anya na jo so beka wo TV so ba me meka e go to a point NDC stations kura na wo krom ha ye nim say ya affiliated to NDC a MPP for gu no they etimi survive ye no obi kwaya advert wo ho na mo di GRA e tata ni pakro yenya wisa wo advert bo wo TV we so ye nim say TV we e affiliated to NDC pe no ma she da kwashe GRA fu achi o meta wo sa na advertiser no onya wu say ahanti ne ye me say no abeyi ne advert free ho so apart from say wo mo your madwen say wo mo be mafia system no ene se ne wo metietia nipa fa ahodie so na NCA kro na wo kan wo mo mra wo parliament nra e kire yen say wo mo guidance wo mo mra wo de ye adwuma rules and regulations wa kan ni nyina me yatie bi o sa mra ne na wo ho ba mo defy sa mra ni nyina aya madwen say enipa no mo ye adwuma wo NDC affiliated stations no mo nye nipa mo nye Ghana for mo be makomade wo mo be ma ho akere wo mo to the sense that the whole agenda was to collapse the business. It is NDC ni bi kra bia business mutimi fa kwa bia so kogu adwuma no bisa won say heritage band den to no gu no bisa wo ho se denti na NPP Ken Ofori Atta ne Bawumia ene na na ado tena se ye ebo mutiri mu pose Heritage Bank ye begu no Unibank ye begu no Unicredit ye begu no Shabanks no omugu no. It was a calculated agenda. One man Jane one will say a Ghana for the wo ba ye na dwuma no bia Obia for Bia Juma, one or Yanesa, and what Diane. What Jenny or your NDC affiliated in Tino, Mammy good enough come on Quadeno, and Yajum Bonnie and one away. President Mahama tira se no hu say wa ma mu gu won tumi radio ho no mo keka sa wo mo niema no wo mo ye Ghana fo mo so e wo no mo nyoma no aduane. Allow them to work. Na mo time wo metimi dia correct default na o ma ye ni nyina. E no so ya bone ma NPP fo. E ya bone ma Afenyo Markin was one TV da. No the President Mahama si ho and what dinner them. Eke kanyama wo pechre no. And President Mahama ye hwani mu or political club and open one wanya so a wo kuro ya wo beka. Nti say President Mahama onya mo den. Say John Mahama onya mo den. Bi mo ni samu mbu ade. Ya ka mo say ya nkura ne ye mu ade. Ba mo subanti ne ye mu mo. President Mahama, it's like they have a perception about the man. Onya Santini and Onya Kanintino, Yawa Gyamfi bi ayade no. Maybe one man says some way and I'm not paying what cow. It is because President Mahama Nyakani. Why I said need to me I can be a channel me and disrespect no. And who told you say I can find Kwana Yagana? Who told you? Who told you say I can phone Kwana a deserve your buo? And you pushing you to the world to say certain things that is not needed. But what you are doing, pure hypocrisy, pure propaganda, pure politics. President Mahama intervene, you know, why abone? Why intervene? Why abone? Inti mo edian pa na President Mahama be ye okrom ha e be ya mofe. Because muti ya woto yan kake kwa no, musimo be demonstration. $200 na etiso no mu hu dia munya bo na mo tena eti mutu asisi adwene wo mutirim ne say e kanyama bo nkosoro fu abo anya den dollar nko be 20 Ghana ade MPP 40 wo mo hwehwe ani o eti na no mo tia ba mu dollar ne nam 18 ne 17 na e ha wo mo because omo no wo ho kire wa no mo pe wo ho kire no no mo nya sika wo ho kire no because no dollar na dem dollars no eguni dem sisi adapa de so ase ne bra eno amo na sika se aga na sika nya na o sisi adapa ne bra dollars no eguni dem sisi adapa bra no oni yere oni ma etu owu ya na japade na yatam ya na de kwama sisi adapa ene eja na yere ne masi ho. You see, these people have a certain mindset that minim domo dwene wama dwene o so omo nko na ya Ghana fo mo didi ye yie. Isa niama mu ogua na ayo mo se bayie no mo se eyi baibon sambi na akomatie si mo so no mo prigidi eniama wa mo akasa nsem chirofo ni bi tino mo radio station keka no ye ka mo kota no mo di atem but wa mo krofo na ka there see nothing wrong with this because I know the mo di Mahama atem ntino eye normal. Ba ye ka bi pa mumbu ade munya ateka munya wewe but wabo go for now they say worse things on their radio station and TV station. They see nothing wrong with it. They hail them. A check of it some nonsense in any rain. Now be a President Mahama no come kasa ko fin kame ha me ho because ade bia ni wa President Mahama be ya Afenyo Markin fe Afenyo Markin ti we irrespective of President Mahama aboa no kwa wa abrabo mu da wono ankasa kanyam nam kai ko business forum nya ho no ko kai say President Mahama aboa no da in the transport business President Mahama aboa no onim by politics inti onfa no kura nya adwuma onfa no kura nya adwuma eti wo ma no mo ye adwuma radio go no mo nya nipa ama no mo ye adwuma wo emunti afam no mo nya nipa meboa ama no mo ye adwuma power na SYZ no mo nya nipa omo didi enya yie eti ye tumu for years na Esra wa didi tiare baby jagbele ene ne jagbele afena na ni abre na MPP fa mu didi Akufo Addo atem na den afede ono so akomati asi no so no we fly no on baby Esra Owusu sisi na so akroma because they had an agenda and then the same thing as see President Mahama intervene ya wanya asem Kofi. Yeah. Wanya asem wa intervene boy o intervene boy.
Yes. Politics unim. Anopai mebo na mapani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mebo na baso. Your Excellency anopai ye salutu. Mebo wa baso. team no ye bo abaso ewo anamo a otui yeah the word consistency and a consistent in fact Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama issue sa word no na wa mama senior mebiase hwe in 2019 time a Esla Owusu settled down some radio stations are now Radio Gold to say that kind no XYZ account any other stations can was shouting it down Esla Owusu kra no now radio stations now 144 144 radio stations but emu 56 and was shouting it down time was shouting it down no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama eka simbi na na some kind me read you hadamo or see anamona watuno he John Dramani Mahama think it is a bad precedent and I pray it doesn't happen in future when the shoe is reversed and some other government comes and shut down stations that are pro-opposition. So, Tiasama John Dramani Mahama can ye 2019. Tama Eslo Owusu shut down radio stations, you know. South Seminar were repeating and day. And Ramra, Communications Minister Sammy George. 64 radio stations or shut them down.
Yeah.
Less than 30 minutes. And John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency. I was down and say, Unjai. And also, Mama 30 days. Obi ade say we be and say we any 30 days in do. That's where to sad morning dia. Eh wala we jejirije. Ya, yet kurama no. Thomas Owusu settled down radio stations, you know. That 56 was 144 radio stations. Ye bisa no call appointment committee, vetting committee, appointment committee, yes.
Yeah.
Any more parliament. Me kai pa. What would be sad to say? And I'm on our two in targeting pro NDC radio stations and I will go shouting it down one. Or see, I acted, no, Mami, or say, she acted in accordance with Electronic Communication Law 2008. So the question I maybe sir a year Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin say, Sam George and Sono, he also acted in accordance with Electronic Communication Law 2008. And the Sakwa say, Kwame ye, Emani ye ya. Kwasi di onu ya enye ya na. Ma ye nye sade no. Baby a yedru no. President Mahama ka se mi. What was say a breach of freedom.
Yeah.
So therefore ye nya won. Ye mom ample time. Na nipa no. 30 days I think say is enough. 30 days. 30 days in eba so no. Na na mo say wutro no watu so antu dia fo bia ana mo say na ora gabby asare da kwa tweet.
Yeah,
say it's true his radio station has been shut down. Yes, and on one so jitum say oma yam from so ana mo bia na so mutu no oma yam from so
that no ma ba na.
Yes, so you can go to parliament and defend radio stations are honest no any very well say now process we want man so am faso o man faso am ya start to down you know oh because of opposition and as a party politics now we defend it. No, we don't do that. Make I say time Eslo Owusu I start to down radio stations me. Yes, Excellency John Dramani Mahama Beka say no Media Foundation for West Africa wo so buy e ba be condemn say sa na mo na wo matu no enye kwa papa so. Enti ya baby ayedu no yeah, reset Ghana.
Exactly.
Yeah, and yes, will be time will be. And we see you to Sadamon. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Messa Boabasubiu. Your Excellency, Koswaya Jumateng. Koswaya Jumateng. What? Yeah, Jumateng.
This nurses demonstration strike thing is very pathetic. Because about my more, some of the entities no more render essential services. Nurses, doctors, police officers, military, those kind of way, you know, because services are such that whenever you revoke your services, you put human life at risk. So that's and the money your friend is saying very way. Anti-constitution, you know, labor law, no outline processes, because be peeved about the working condition, salary, or you cannot stop people from expressing dissatisfaction about the conditions of service. And as Nema go, no, there are a whole lot, because I'm telling you, sir, being at the hospital, the risk involved in some of the things that you do.
I am a innocent or a nurse.
Yes.
So when you my innocent or a nurse, and well, Mosa is a funeral grant to Bejibio. Oh, and I have a height allowance.
Amazing. So yeah, I think that is very pathetic. Sometimes I know a medical doctor now or performing procedure on somebody. Yeah. And and I think that there was a gush of blood, a puba, and a good name. Unfortunately, the person was HIV positive.
Jesus
so what
Christ.
It means is
automatically.
I'm saying all this just for people to appreciate the depth of issues now. Yeah. And now I've always been advocating, say, you see, the emolument structure in this country, you know, are very pathetic. But the same person, you first near mana nurses a demand some of the conditions near mana woman, some are absolutely nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. It doesn't make sense. And me, I don't blame nurses, I blame the leadership. Because you see, nursing leadership over the years has been very, very, very pathetic. It's the reason why most of the young guys and girls coming in, you know, will be a film. So nursing your now a diverted, now call a anesthetic, or be caught no acquire way. Everybody's moving away from the space because leadership over the years, you know, I'm man for now, I'm more betting or more. They don't even think about the welfare. I remember that was a time they were paying nurses student allowance. Yes, man, for nurses, nurses for near. So this is the leadership. They don't fight for their own. So over the years, you know, nursing leadership has been very pathetic. Very, very, and nurses know. Even go to the various wards, your friend is a metro for no more honor. They don't even care about their own nurses. They always, you know, advocating for Nema. You can go to a hospital and say, okay, what is now more hano? Yeah, more allowance. You bet me my nurse need 100 Ghana cedis. Me my doctor need maybe 2,000 Ghana cedis. Look at the gap. But metro no see anything wrong with it. Yes, but nurse will be spending much time at the bedside, do all the dirty jobs. It's the nurse. And there are facilities you go, there is no nurse. But the same facility, no, I won't know we are near child doctor. Nurse is not money.
Yeah, money be need.
I will not blame them. It's the leadership that is there because they don't know all that they are interested in. I bet you're born. Yeah. They don't care about the work. So over the years, I never way you know now burogusua ma do now film do now because you see that there is no future because of bad leadership. And there are things it's not even right to say, but I think that's very, very terrible. But yeah, with him. Said yes, no. I'm worried about the kind of politics in this country because so what is happening within the space now. We cannot be sitting with GMA today. Doctors now more the aba now ya demonstration we are near co-teachers now ya we are near co-nurses now ya near co-way. There is no country that will survive doing that. So for me, I think that we need to look at our emolument structure aggressively. Now you say why they take a risk at the hospital? Yeah. We make a candidacy for the marshal. Yeah. But don't forget that police in here deployed so on bank and so it's the same. It's at the same risk. Because at bank and I'm Robert Bar. He's the first person.
I'm a target.
So you wait me now young guys bullion vine and as for a so you come what I say. So everybody is at risk. So as government, you know, I think that what we need to do and they say Yabaka Sanya Mani boom. Now you assess the risk level of all these individuals. Now you draw a comprehensive package. I cover some of these. In the absence of this, then some of these things are likely. Or we are marked somewhere. Doctors will come. The teacher for will come. And with the government, you know, a trade of nonsense. Always you are in banter. And Nippon say, and I'm saying there are more bargaining advantage because our draw services are you be in hot waters. Until they will continue to do some of these things to you. So I think that one of the things that I'm away ama and their monument structure because there are nurses our weird degree. As for them salary bring take 3,500, 4,500 as for them. What I say. And very pathetic. So for me, I think say we need to look at the basic salary structure. Now you making sure say you improve on then as for them. About demonstration strike and also. Now you improve on. Now you must say baby and the panel here Obia is okay with your own and as a form. And I think that say to me yes I a better key away this bargaining chipper. Very often some of these entities and hold government to ransom. Oh my essay, my old draw my services and as a form. Conditions of service will be here. Now I will tell you conditions of service. Here, but you see there's sometimes the way you go about it. And you can't there are roadmap. And this particular strike, and I think say to be very honest with you, because you see this and is up I
was striking we are now Kwejuma.
Oh, maybe can't striking. Yeah, because of the same nursing leadership.
Okay.
Issue need very confusing. People don't understand. Free baby. Okay. Emotions.
Okay.
Sa package na ye kana sa your friends package na ye kan was a collective way na agreement na omo make here no. It's a paper under Akufo Addo government no. Omo ti ase e na ye fe omo agree but component na ewom no. People did not pay attention to Niema and Ewom because at the time, now we were going into elections. Akufo Addo government at the time no could not afford to be engaging nurses back and forth because once it was going to affect the government at the time okay. So on the package in the bar say package in the they agree on virtually everything.
Okay.
And now, the government then can say, you cannot blame Akufo Addo government in this because they were going to implement it. Then the nurses, psychiatry nurses took the issue to court through a nurse party. Said no. Agreement no more agree. And yeah, dear say GRI no mother body no because then the bodies be brabano. And no one transit. And no one can. And the agreement no my be one transit into the issue no court. Issue no court and then the psychiatric nurses won. So back and forth issue no court to no pull it out to be no now you January yo Akufo Addo to kofie ama mahama aba ama yaba January budget no at the time no already had been prepared. Government didn't just sika de bia kwata me na wo de ya de. So the reason why I'm blaming nursing leadership say omo ye involved enti na de we Akufo Addo implement am omo komo de court no ne back and forth ni nyina wie no na election is over. And I'll be happy because the burden has been
burden so
good. But you see, let's say I said governance is continuum. The mere fact that Akufo Addo ensign doesn't mean that John Mahama ensign. Fine. This is a government that is barely 6 months old. Yeah. There are structural former or a cost of government require for
and certain way you and way.
You can still press and engage the government with your concern, but to threaten and say that may cause strike. When the procedure and the processes that are outlined won't follow, people have taken a very belligerent position. They say, we are done, and say, and I've listened to a couple of interviews or granted, which you could see clearly intellectually she's very, very febrile. In some no kind of say, a mature mind will not be making such comments, and either she's motivated by politics or whatever, I don't know. Obia or concern what he has a woman ya first but the way she's doing as if this is a government that has been in power for like 3 years and only engaging. This is a government that has been in power for barely 6 months. You cannot declare strike within 6 months when negotiations with the government hasn't gone on. And Sanya Mana Kosunina, Nona, Emma Manfo say, okay, Sanadia, Nemana Mubisano, young corner, young Koshim. You could be a crat and you could shame. Kwabrane say me ye adwuma wa abrosan so first floor meji 2 CD 50 pesos a day. Say third floor 20 centimeters meji 3 CDs a day. And me ye adwuma fifth floor na that's for no meji 5 CDs a day. Yeah. Who on his right senses as a government will agree to this pack of nonsense? Say see it here. okay.
First floor.
And what here is meant to be salary at channel because of the floor. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And I sympathize with nurse my salary and very bad. So this energy they could have confronted government not in salary. Catch on the basic salary now and we deserve better. Yes, don't put up this nonsense and yes, say make floor back make floor me no. People will not even take you serious. But Akufo Addo government did not pay attention to those things because
election
but and the government now all try to reset through look at so now they were saying answer anymore what be what I say and I was expecting question on nurses in Penifon by catching up by say first now the be we had nurse now with the car if Rabontin by a free man and that thing has been taken away. I was expecting nursing leadership to be fighting for those things. Dr. Sidia has been put on hold. These are sensible things. Bizarre. We are serious. What I say? And again, almost a funeral grant.
Aye, funeral grant.
Does it make sense? And the amount of money involved is over 600 million.
600 million Ghana.
Funeral grounds in what sense? Like, funeral we no abanya adwuma no obi nya bi nchen obi o and I make said the risk obi ade ho but ya say aban agree to some of these and I'm telling you so everything na teacher ni ya say almost we nya risk ugina akasa from anopako say anwumre no so you see a time will come we are going to open the floodgate obi abeba say funeral because what funeral ground am obi you have to
pay for a teacher.
Adia ba kwa yesa make sense in the woman 13th month no you see 13th month no there are companies omutia I was working for a company Christmas they will pay you double they do but you see this a policy you cannot introduce to a section of workers what I say you because 13th month you know say you're widen to policy in here 13th month. So you cannot exclusively say young 13th month. It's going to create agitation. Doctors will come and ask for 13th month. And I make us you see when you have that collective bargaining chip as an entity now who make it demands be reasonable. Say ya some no can. Mami asem okay because any day. So be a nurse salary nya I'll be the first person to fight yes salary nya let us make sure say we pay nurses well. Because how can a degree nurse be working and be taking 4,000? I cried 4,000 times.
Yeah, rent to cry.
Exactly.
Rent to
So as a nursing leadership, these are some of the things you engage government with. Allowances and so forth, they are good, but you see, very often when you are advocating for allowances, people don't take you serious. But when you want salary discussion, and I know there are roadmap and so forth, but you see, when that particular thing is very aggressive, you the government in your engagement because of the work you do. A salary structure to a certain extent can be improved on. But some of these demands and you see that the whole thing has become a subject of public ridicule. I'm for a kind of science so they now now for a funeral. So when you do that, you bring yourself, people will expose you. Or may pick up some of the things and I will feel not yet. And again, one thing people don't understand is GRNA a nurses entity organization a mother body association and then nurses for what people don't know they say your friend is a health sector now some person will engage abanya the bargaining chip now ya entities health sector na omatam omo de ma GRNA the mother body so on a legitimately otimi kwa aban ho and bargaining certificate no bargaining but yeah very adeba people don't know ni say sa entity way entity made up of those who work in the private sector. Every single nurse whether you work for government or not you are part of this organization. So we are nurse you ma banyo we nurse ma banyo so there is a possibility say obi betimi aba GRNA president abra onye aban adwuma ma aban trust hospital Onya Bayajuma, or yet more private hospital, but on the GRA way. So, Sani Party, dear Banya, Akako negotiating on workers who dealing with government. So, I buying workers. It's not about private. So, the partner, oh dear, Nimako, Okom Krana, or Yajuma. I don't know whether you get the picture. What can I say? Because I don't know, maybe young Klana at here for yes. I'm innocent here, nurse. It's in my man time to explain it better.
the innocent ami ati asesi and say Ghana registered nurses who body no are perpetual no and the dear as the president no we are nurse wa Ghana nko you are part of this association whether private or government we are under this mother body and no money am o bargaining power eti e bi kra na me ka say perpetual anya adwuma ma ba me ni ba bi o ye adwuma I'm not interested be not perpetual kra no o ye adwuma ma me private hospital bi kra me ko me call private hospital every kra na ho no ye adwuma but because o ye nurse a we under this body ni no wa rise ya benya position so akwaya bargaining private hospital no omo nko strike. It is a by the striker and Yenasem.
Yes,
because I think exactly. I think that okay.
Yes,
thank you very much.
And say nipa a private nurse and some now are fighting for horn crown or a being cano. So they can do whatever that they want. That is the
benefit.
That is the bad aspect of it. So at the end of the day, no, people will not take. So for instance, I'm not saying that it could be possible. Say, all the head nurses, leaders from private hospitals, and these private hospital workers, and the people who are going to lead charge with government, engage government for those working in government sector. Does it make sense?
No,
you understand? And people will not even take it serious. You understand?
By expansion. Strike no crab private hospitals.
Yes. Exactly the point. I know my baby can. Not private. They are no because you see our what capacity be able private hospital.
Yes. So you see how a coffers are near my way in our but as who can be much I say.
Yeah.
Oh, what I say. Exactly. So for me, I think the roadmap on down and then labor commission the assembly court.
Yeah.
They are calling nurses to come back, but still, the woman they are sort of baby a Zoom call and so I think that the political undertones was our name and the money are very pathetic. For one eco hospital now, one they would I don't even want to go there because some of these things are very way. But the thing is that we are building a country. Every strike action be an premise on established rules of engagement. That is okay. And you see, Senka John Mahama Byway and last year and a wabana say only implement here, then you have a case. But we are talking about a government that is 6 months older. Yet here your deputy minister of health.
I can't don't 1 man.
What I say? So give you say even government nucleus now here forming a crown. So you give the government time to settle. And what settle we know? Opa we are saying kwasa sem nyina gu paper so bra. Was settle we now wouldn't say the bargaining there, your bargaining power and a bachelor, or so per food now per whatever I say, to me a bargaining or when that one there. And let the government settle or settle down. I wouldn't have that back and front. Now that is okay. But budget has already been written. The amount of money involved with is over 2 billion. I have the document.
Yeah, I say 4 billion.
Yes, I have
4 billion every month.
I have the document with me. And you governance yes, to acquire what I said. You need to go through. So for me, in as much as I sympathize with nurses, the challenges in as a form go through in as a form no. Why not leadership now for so no in this particular regard no? It's in bad faith. It's an ambush. And ya wouldn't say your friend is saying I didn't know no. Psychiatry nurses in as for said they are not part of this strike because they think say and midwives as I say at you they have an association or most I listen to the president or say they are not in support. They want near man or muhiano namum kwanya or mafaso more no. It's not right. You understand? So for me, I think that strike they will be our home council but a government that is 6 months old, that is my word, 6 months old. For me, our negotiation, was started with a government. Why is it power? No, the government will need time to study the documents and see how the economic situation and conditions, everything are support to those things. But if you don't do these things, now what may cost strike because you think that you can force. No, it can't happen that. So that is why I am at this whole thing. Exercise in bad faith, and I think that I'm so disappointed in the woman in charge. Maybe we know. I think that we need to pay particular attention to your emolument structure. You see, because of that happen on the political space. Because my classmates, me a doctor, me a surgery, a cashier or hospital, but some me 12,000 Ghana cedis. I've seen my classmates be at Ponkosu be or did the party executive or China any CEO. Allowance are in a month, no such me as a medical doctor. Yes, those things are there, but you see, Ghana becoming very overbearing. oko ba bi esisi but ya bro so enti ama obia fi nani ehwe unse owu no obia kasa omo compare allowances a leaders ninya
enya
oko parliament sika enam amamfo nsase na edugu bag him na you see so people know that there is money. So if I'm a nurse and I'm risking my life, I also deserve that pound of flesh. But if we are able to restructure the emolument structure in such a way, say, baby obia no, give you what you want.
Yeah.
Oko you can be a nurse here. Nanim mere obi oye mayor. Oko we no be a doctor. I will US. Nanim mere obi oye your friend saying senator. Because as a doctor working in a facility in America, the money I get, is almost the same as even far larger. There is this Ghanaian plastic surgeon or US. The guy is a billionaire. The guy is a billionaire because he's a doctor. You understand? So such a person, a senator or not, so that is what we need to do, just to ensure that people in this service, young trying and elevate and then also now poverty now. We are teacher near say what they
teacher need a crowd bobo
na police for crowd there
police for there na crowd
on kwani am single room na the fridge in the name
prison officer crowd there near bobo na fire there as a prison officer
there am tell
me can ho prison fire
the difference between prison officer and a prisoner I war they are all living in prison. So yeah, I think we need to look at in as much as the ekosunu nyina in a broader stakeholder way. Let us look at the bigger picture na ye hu how efa so a your salary structure ni yesebe ya obia anibeso de oye. But I think say yes but be unnecessary for nam there. Some of the demands na we making are absolute rubbish. It's nonsense and no government on his right senses will agree. Obi be catch am say oh na say abandada na jitum because we are going to an election the other we obeja to mama. But in this real sense here you will say the state of affairs petrol and so forth. We can't do that, you understand? But we should try to know who's the car allowances in as for air cost of parliament. Yes, people will be peeved. So we need to do the politics where because obia who here, nurses who here, because nurses ni you can survive. Kakra your withdraw service, you see what is happening. And now Ebasia won't feel it. Now we young kawana junior dokwana will be another who say yes. So you see enti yele na ye make sure say baby obia no ye betua ne kai is me classmate amedo mo wie legon about 70% of munya ko UK I didn't know obeko because salary ni nya wa ha okoha anya hwe ne ma beko yama no some are in America nursing training can be classmate about 50%. They are in the UK now. Why? Because the structure system here is very terrible and recognizable and give nothing. No answer when the move flat is ana one way out acquire we now or life or no I don't know. You understand? Government must pay particular attention to workers. Police for more wins because it is bad.
Police need any green no difference about one. Yeah. But I did green can you question that be a red now me say Upesika catch say Mosca na where by force to say red abra me so many tuatua where me who say green.
Yes,
so you see the frustration out there.
Yes, the frustration. So it's not a take it to poverty. So government must pay particular attention to some of these things, not making sure say you improve salary. Because I say okoye politics all of a sudden now order VAT other way or the classmate who oh you see kind of moody. Ebi akwa na nya ban sika o. So, and I'm because the politics in a comparative way, now people are getting exposed to some of these things. First, who MPN officer a special person, and people have come to know. So, some of the people standing on the political side, some are even a wood and kwan. That's
what Becca said. We know
what I say. So that veneration, respect, and that one is gone. So it's about salary. If you are taking this, I should take this. You understand? So I think see a restructure, a emolument structure, some of these things will not come up, and government should make sure say the risk allowance now for no must be universal across board. Now you fan 20, you fan salary no. Now you take away that power from people coming to meet government. We yane we no negotiate we now we know. Hey, now you be that by. What I say, Anna said nurses and also bisa for BB, they should ask for something important, like this waiver on cars and then as a form. What I say, the near who here and the problem say, we and several other essentials. Now could be a funeral ground, could be a science allowance. It's absolutely nonsense. Oh,
yo, it is for winning a reporter about Yaposo Mikao say, so when you subscribe to channel idea, Bomodia say over subscribe. Now, while like a video, give us a thumbs up, now share my or for Froso. Now, when you be here now. And somewhere Akoto Ghana memo also bet me atchere wadwin afa eye somewhere nyina ho ewo comment box no mobati minkabi in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.